Hey everyone, my name is Jathin, and I have my friend Pavan here as well. And this is a brand new podcast we're starting called Real Telugu Talks, where we're here talking about Telugu movies and any other sort of genre of film that happens in India. We've grown up watching Telugu movies since we were kids, and it's a big part of our life and big part of our childhood. And we have a lot of opinions and a lot of things we want to talk about. Felt like this would be a perfect sort of place to talk about it, a perfect sort of community. And this is our first podcast. We're just gonna do simple intros, talk about our favorite movies, favorite heroes, and we'll just see how it goes. So, Pavan, if you want to give yourself an intro.
Yeah, so I'm Pavan. I'm the same way with like Jathin. I share a good love for Telugu movies. Just wanted a spice to talk about Telugu movies in general. We always love to talk with the friends, family. It doesn't. I think movies is one of those things that like you can talk with anybody about if they have
Exactly.
an interest. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. It could be like your tata, bro. He'll love the movies, bro. He'll talk about like way back when the senior heroes and stuff.
Yeah.
You can talk about movies with anybody. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Definitely.
um, just just wanted to share my love for movies, share our love for movies,
Yeah.
and hopefully you guys will have a good time listening.
Hmm.
Bear with us at the beginning because we're new to this whole thing, but yeah, just trying to
Yeah.
talk about our love for movies. That's it.
And just a little bit of background information. Me and Pavan, we've been friends since like first grade,
Oh yeah.
and we go way back, and we're just continuing that through this now.
Yep.
And but the first thing I want to talk about is what to exactly expect from this podcast. And then you can also jump in whenever you want.
Right.
I feel like one of the main things that I want to do here is there are a lot of movie podcasts and movie related YouTube channels and whatnot out there. It's just something that I've always felt like maybe that they don't always reflect what I have like feeling, whether it comes to movie reviews or the analysis. I always feel like there's something missing, and I just kind of wanted to be like, maybe there's other people like me as well that feel that, and I just wanted to come up, take step up, and be like, hey, maybe I've always had this interest. I want to do something like that as well. Yeah.
You can expect a lot of different like types of videos from us. Like, I mean, we could be talk about directors' filmographies, actors' filmographies, just the movie landscape in general. Maybe even like genres. Like, I know specifically, like we'll definitely dive into one thing that I wanted to dive in specifically was just one of the things that I love about Telugu movies compared to Hollywood is Telugu nails the commercial movie genre,
Yes,
and
facts.
and like
Yes.
that, like if you'll notice while I talk in the podcast too, almost all the movies that I love will be commercial movies. So like
I,
I apologize
they're
in
perfect.
advance,
They're
but like
perfect.
that is just what I like about Telugu movies, right? That's what differentiates between Hollywood and
Hmm.
Telugu movies for me. It's just the commercial movie genre, what an actor has to do in terms of the level of skills that they have to display in a commercial movie genre when done well
Hmm.
is something that I enjoy. So like stuff like that, different kind of genres, just overall like movies that are coming out, trying to stay up to date with that, let you know our opinions about that as well. This is mainly just a spot for us to kind of unleash our opinions.
Hmm.
We'll I'll say this, at least for me, and I know Jathin will probably agree with this too, is just we won't openly criticize or
Yeah.
go out of our way because I know a lot of the reviewers nowadays is just I see more negative than positive. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
understand that like maybe Telugu movies are not at the spot that you want it to be, but doesn't mean that other people don't like it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would like to highlight the positives,
Hmm.
and I would like to mainly just talk about certain audiences might like a movie that you don't like. There's
Yeah.
some genres in Telugu that I don't like specifically, but
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that you don't like them. So yeah, we'll definitely try to highlight those. But yeah, main thing is just to share our love for movies, bro. We're not trying to openly criticize,
Exactly.
bro.
Yeah. TFI Katubanisa.
That's what I'm saying, bro. TFI Bonus is forever, bro.
Okay, but the first thing I want to ask is, what is one of your best like Telugu movie experiences, like theatrical or at home? Like, what's one of your best ones?
I mean, I think like even when I was younger, I think like I kind of just went to movies because like my parents were going. You know what I mean? They'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like okay, there's a movie coming out. But like to this day, I think the movie that I've just openly cried for in theaters. Maybe it was an age thing too,
Hmm.
but it was SVSC. Like I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't
So,
know if it was cause like I have a brother and like maybe
uh-huh.
like that brother um like my love for my
SBSC
brother
is
just kind
Sita
of
Mavakitlo
yes
Cinema,
yes
by the
yes.
way.
But but yeah, I don't know if it was like that Mahesh Babu and Venkatesh scene at the
Yeah.
very end, or the one where he knocks over the flower pot. It's just
Pulukondi
like,
Nanduk Tannara.
yes, yes, it's linduktan naura. But yeah, but yeah, that made me cry. It just did.
Hmm.
And like, I'll go back and watch the movie now. It's just like the rewatchability with that movie.
Yeah.
It just hits more and more as you mature as well.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Especially
I will
now,
definitely
because
say
we're at that age of
right.
Chignodu and Beddodu where we're struggling with
Yes, yes,
college and
yes,
careers.
yes. Like that is so much more reflective now,
Yeah.
because like especially like the characters are set in that land, like
Hmm.
that age of their lives too.
Hmm.
It's yeah. That movie will always hit me in the feels, bro.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. For me though, I have to go with. I know it's kind of cliche, but the first time I saw a movie in theaters and I was like, so this is what like a director, this is what a movie can be, was Bahubali 1.
Oh, okay,
I
fair, fair.
I went into I was like 10 maybe. I went into the movie theater. All I saw was the trailer and I haven't gotten into that like I love movies. I watched them, but like that movie just switched something on. From start to finish, my mouth was open. I was in shock, and especially that last like 1 minute with the cliffhanger. And I was 10, and that like blew my 10-year-old mind because I was not expecting that because that's never happened. Something like that has never happened before in Telugu commercial cinema.
I think the one thing that like people I think fail to differentiate with like Bahubali and like
Hmm.
some other films, right? Like
Hmm.
hero elevations are so normal in Telugu cinema.
Yeah,
That is one where like the story is
the
elevating the hero
story
as well.
exactly.
So when
Yeah.
like you nail both of those, bro,
Hmm.
it's like it's just different level, bro. It's
Exactly.
just different.
And you need like in my opinion, only Prabhas can do something like Bahubali.
Oh, I agree. I
And
think I'll say this for the most part too. Like
yeah.
most heroes like top films, I
Hmm.
know like they love to say like if we put hero A in hero B's situation,
Yeah.
like they'd be able to do. I just don't think
No,
that. Like for
there's no
most
other
movies, you
than
just can't.
yeah.
Like
It's
you just
hard.
can't. Especially
Yeah.
for Bahubali, yeah, you just
Hmm.
can't do that. You just can't.
Yeah. But on the topic of heroes, who is your favorite hero?
Oh my dude, Mahesh Babu, bro.
That's
Babu ke
that's
Babu
good.
Mahesh Babu, bro.
J Babu.
Jay Babu. But no, yeah, I think Mahesh Babu for me, like especially the more I watch movies,
Hmm.
I like gain more respect for his like overall filmography. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I mean, maybe this is me being a little bit biased too. I think he has like changed the standard for Telugu cinema,
Yeah.
as well as other heroes have. But he's definitely one of those heroes that like through his works you can see the standard of Telugu cinema changing.
I
Especially
mean,
with that streak with Atadu Pokeri
exactly.
and Okadu,
Hmm.
like that, like there are those cinemas are just timeless, bro. Like,
Hmm. And then like Pokeri is like one of those movies where it's like in the entire film, you it's a risk to show the character like the main hero as like well a Pokeri, a rowdy, and that's him throughout the entire film.
right?
Pandugadu is a rowdy in the
Yeah,
entire movie, and
yeah,
that's never been done before in like a Telugu movie. So taking that risk is something that only Mahesh Babu can do.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I think I even remember like he did Pokeri already, but then when he
Hmm.
went to Businessman, they were asking him in the pressers. They were like, "Is it a good thing to
Hmm.
show an open criminal?" Like, and
Yeah.
he was like, "You got to understand the emotion behind the criminal, not the criminal
Exactly.
itself." And
Yeah.
obviously, like that same like sort of not controversy, but like that same sort of narrative is going around with Pushpa right now as well,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
where people are like, "Is it a good thing to show a smuggler like
Hmm.
that is as a hero? Is that really a good thing?" But
Hmm.
I think the main thing with films is that you just have to look at the emotion behind the character, not
Yeah.
necessarily what the character is on the outside.
You can't blame the film for the character influencing the real life world. People
Right.
should be able to separate this is a film, this is
Right.
fake,
Right.
versus not. Allu Arjun isn't actually going to go out there and start smuggling red sandalwood. It's
Yes.
just a
Yes.
character,
Yes.
right? So people need to be able to differentiate that. Um, but what are your top three Mahesh Babu movies?
Okay, my top three. This was so tough, by the way, and like
Uh
this
huh.
was something that I had to decide on this morning. So like maybe tomorrow my top three is different. Like my
Yeah.
top three today is
Mm-hmm.
not the same as a top three tomorrow.
Uh huh.
Um, but I think so. I wanted to pick one from Atadu, Pokuri, and Okudu. Not
Mm-hmm.
because like I could easily just pick those three. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
out of those three, my favorite is still Atadu. I think like
Mm-hmm.
it's so technically sound, bro. And
It's the rewatchability of that movie
oh,
too.
it is.
It's
And
peak.
then I think the main thing with films, right, is if
Mm-hmm.
you have an idea, like the idea that's like running in your mind the whole entire time while watching each scene,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of the scene. But throughout the movie, we're like, why did అసలు తాత ఇంటికి ఎందుకు వెళ్ళాడు అసలు
Yeah.
ఆ ఇంటికి ఎందుకు వెళ్ళి లైక్ ఆల్రెడీ ఏదో ఒక పని ఉంది కదా ఎందుకు ఆ
Yeah.
ఇంటికి వెళ్ళి
Exactly.
ఆ, అలా ఎందుకు లైక్ ఎందుకు వెళ్ళాడు
Mm-hmm.
ఆ ఇంటికి ఆ కుటుంబ సభ్యులతో ఎందుకు మాట్లాడాడు మొత్తం
Yeah.
సేపు ఎందుకు అంత ఎమోషనల్ అయ్యాడు
How do you
సో
get attached? Yeah.
so like that whole entire time we're watching and we're like why is he doing all this? So that's just like
Mm-hmm.
running in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then the individual scenes in that movie, comedy. I love the comedy in that movie.
Comedy. Yeah.
I think Mahesh Babu's strength is comedy as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Brahmanandam in that movie is just classic.
Brahmanandam.
Is a classic
Yeah.
Brahmanandam, bro. So yeah, just in general, I loved all the characters. There were no
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary characters in that movie too.
Yeah.
And it was so ahead of its time. I mean, for that
Mm-hmm.
to like for that movie to come out so long ago and
Mm-hmm.
still be to the standards of TFI today is
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Even like the twist ending with Sonu Sood being the actual villain, who we thought was dead the whole time,
Right, right.
and then but he was actually the guy running the whole thing behind. So like that sort of thing, that's Aturu was definitely ahead of its time.
Yeah, yeah. My second one, I mean, by the way, I'm not putting these in order because if I
Mm-hmm.
put them in order, that'd be kind of difficult too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna do that to myself.
We're just going
but-
chronologically.
right. Kaleja. I think Kaleja
Facts.
definitely
Yes.
because that is one of the most complete movies I've ever
Mhm.
seen Mahesh Babu do. Because I always like thought of that movie as a comedy movie, by the way, which is
Mhm.
like very fair to think about.
Yeah.
But like the more I watch that movie, I
There's
realize like
emotion, there's
yes,
romance, there's comedy, there's
right,
action.
right.
Everything is in that movie.
Like the acting in that movie, like the whole entire idea of him posing as Devuru
Mm-hmm.
is like that idea, bro. Like Trivikram,
Yeah.
bro. I just like I can't. Like I have so much respect for Trivikram's movies, like his filmography.
Yeah.
And so like Kaleja is just a prime example of that. Like it
Mhm.
is like the idea of a person realizing that he has God within him.
Yep.
That's a crazy character development in that movie.
Mhm.
And then yeah,
And
the
we
comedy
see the
speaks for itself,
transition
bro.
from Sita Ramaraju taxi driver
Right.
to Sita Ramaraju Devuru
Yes.
throughout the film, and it's a perfect
Yes.
transition.
Yes.
So that movie, again, TFI failed here, bro. That movie should have been like a blockbuster hit, but I guess it. I feel like at that time people were just okay. Taxi driver Devudu out on 80. That's like that thing.
Yeah.
It didn't set well with people.
Right.
But I remember seeing in an interview that Trivikram did for Kaleja, he said, Sita Ramaraju Anevadu, Pali Urlone Devudu. Everywhere else, he's a taxi driver.
Right.
Because he's there to save those people, he is only God there. Everywhere else,
Right.
he's just a regular taxi driver.
Right.
So that connect, that exact message of it carrying over, at that time, I don't think people understood exactly. So I feel like that's why it wasn't like received well when it came out first. But now, repeats, bro. I know almost every single dialogue in that movie by heart.
Right. Right. Like you gotta realize how great a movie is that when you డైరెక్టర్ తప్పు కాదు మన తప్పు
Exactly.
అదే మళ్ళీ నేను చూసి
Uh-huh.
త్రివిక్రమ్ రాసిన మూవీ
Mm-hmm.
అసలు ఆ స్థాయిలో ఉంది కానీ నేను అప్పుడు అసలు లైక్ అసలు నమ్మలేకపోయాను
Mind point.
So like to come back after
Mhm.
rewatching the movie, even after this much,
Mhm.
it's definitely a testament to how great that movie is and how
Mhm.
what do I say, like revolutionary even in a way,
Yeah.
because like that idea in itself is just something that
Mhm.
it's rare. I don't think a lot of people can do a movie like that.
Mhm.
Um, Third movie. So this one was tough, right? I wanted to
Yeah.
go with one of like, cause Mahesh Babu had this like stretch
Yeah.
where he kind of experimented with movies, right? He worked with
Mhm.
Sukumar and did One Ne Nokarne.
Mhm.
I like that movie because I think
It's a good
him as an
movie.
actor he
Yeah.
developed in that movie showed me a lot that I didn't know. Spider, where he worked with A.R. Murugadoss, but
Don't
I didn't think
no.
that movie was that great. That
No.
movie wasn't that good.
No.
Um, but definitely, I think again going back to the commercial genre, I
Mhm.
just love Dukuru. Like
Oh yes. Yeah.
Dukuru by far. Like
Mhm.
Srinu Vaitla was peak in that movie, bro.
Mhm.
Like the comedy of Srinu Vaitla was like on display from start to finish.
Mhm.
And then again, like the simple emotion of like I will do anything for my dad
Yeah.
is
It's something that everyone can connect with.
right, right. So I think Dukuru again another example of just like a pure commercial film that is
Mhm.
just nailed. It's just nailed, bro. He
I'm
nailed it.
honestly surprised you didn't say businessman.
I was going to say businessman, but I think I don't know. I still think like Dukuru
Mhm.
because the intensity is also shown in Atadu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Businessman, the only thing that's different is I think it because the close pan shots. That's the
The zoom.
hardest for
Exactly.
an actor to do. The
Mhm.
camera is like this close to your
This close to your
face,
face. Yeah.
and you're still able to maintain the emotion, the intensity of the character. I think that
Mhm.
was a little bit was on display with Atadu a little bit,
Mhm.
but yeah, Businessman he did it for a whole film. So yeah, maybe Businessman too. I think that's also
I mean, I just
definitely
love
one
the
that could be.
character of Surya
Oh,
in Surya
so good,
Bhai.
so good.
But
Can you
yeah.
believe that movie was made in as little time as it was, bro?
I know. I recently rewatched it and it was like just 2 hours long or something.
Right.
And I'm like, you packed an entire person's journey from rags to riches, from nothing to dawn, with a love story, songs, action, everything in like just 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Like I think it
miss
was made in like 90 days.
really.
Yeah, like I remember like they were saying it was one of the fastest films ever made
Hmm.
because like that's also a testament to Puri
Yeah.
because in that way like Sandeep Reddy Vanga reminds me a lot of it where these directors just film with so much clarity
Hmm.
where like Puri knew what he was like going
Exactly.
for already. So it
Hmm.
was just he did what he felt like.
Hmm.
He didn't think twice about it. He just went with his gut.
Hmm. We're
Um,
missing that Puri now
yeah,
with the Liger and like the double Ishmat, but
yeah, yeah.
Puri's gonna bounce back. He'll come back and he'll make something like a like a Pokri, like a Temper. He'll do something like that.
Right, right.
But
I hope
yeah.
so.
Hmm.
But yeah, what about you?
For me, okay, so I'm a bit weird because my all-time favorite is Rajnikant. But since we're talking about Telugu heroes, I'm gonna go with number two, who's Junior NTR. Tarak, who's one of the greatest actors we've had in Telugu industry. Um, you know, just period. He's one of the greatest actors we have. It's just he can carry intensity, emotion. His acting skills are off the charts. And then I don't even have to say anything about dance. Like Junior NTR is the number one dancer in the Telugu industry right now. Even at like 40 years old, he would get down on one knee and like do the step from Ayuda Puja. And it's just Junior NTR is just peak for me, and I just love him. At him as an actor, him as a person, the fact that he cares so much about his fans as well. Like at the end of every speech, at the end of every audio launch or whatever, he says, మీకోసం ఎదురు చూస్తున్న వాళ్ళు మీ ఇంట్లో ఉన్నారు జాగ్రత్తగా వెళ్ళండి
Yeah,
మీ ఫ్యామిలీ మీ కుటుంబం ఫస్ట్ మేము ఎక్కడో లాస్ట్ లో ఉంటాము the fact that he says that shows how much he cares about his fans and shows how much he cares about people. And I just love Junior NTR completely and totally.
what's your
So
top three?
See, there are so many good ones.
Dude, I had the same struggle,
There's
bro.
so many good ones,
I had
especially
the same struggle, bro.
considering the run he's had since Temper. All of them were hits.
Right.
But if I had to choose, my again, no particular order. I'm just going chronologically. I would first go with Simhadri
Okay.
because Simhadri is one of those movies where it's like he was 19 years old when that movie came out. If you think about it, so considering that we see his full range of acting skills as a 19-year-old in that film, and the fact that it still stands up today, is just crazy. But with Simhadri, I was when I first saw it, I was not a big fan of it because the entire first half is very slow. If you think about it, there's not many action scenes until the interval fight. But the second we get to that interval fight and the flashback portion of Simhadri becoming Singamalai, once you get to that portion, that's when SS Rajamouli steps in and he's like, I got this. We see the raw talent of Junior NTR. We see raw SS Rajamouli in that movie for the first time. And everything that he does is the acting, and of course the songs are also really good in Simhadri. So without a doubt, easily one of my favorite is Simhadri. I even went to the re-release of it when I was in Vijayawada back in
Okay.
like 23. I went crazy. I was surrounded by all the fans, and it was just an amazing experience for me. But yeah, that's definitely one of the first ones. Um, Second, I would have to say a special film in all NTR fans is Temper, the comeback movie for Junior NTR.
Right.
The the collar sentiment started from that movie. Uh, the characterization of Daya in that film is very intense, is very loud, and it's not like a film. It's not like another Puri Jagannath movie where it's like the film is gray shade, with like in Pokeri or in like Businessman where it's gray shades. Daya is a full on bad guy in that first half. He is literally a villain. He లంచం తీసుకుంటాడు, రౌడీల్ని వదిలేస్తాడు, గూండాలతో పార్టీలు చేసుకుంటాడు.
Right.
ఈ ఇవన్నీ we see all this and we're like we hate Daya. Literally, by the time the interval happens, the people literally hate Daya. In fact, నేనే సినిమా చూసి ఇదేంటి సినిమా రా బాబు అని తిట్టుకున్నాను. ఎన్టీఆర్ని ఏం ట్రై చేస్తున్నారు ఐ తిట్టుకున్నాను నేను. I couldn't because NTR is like up there and Puri is showing him as like a pachi villain. But ఎప్పుడైతే that switch that happened, we see NTR the actor come back after such a long time, and that switch is like salute kottandi Murthy garu adi ఎప్పుడైతే అన్నాడో I was like yes. అప్పుడు ఒక the the sadness the NTR fans was feeling of having flop after flop after flop
Right.
ఆ ఒక్క scene తో మొత్తం పోయింది. And of course, the iconic court scene in the last 30 minutes, that was just peak NTR acting, and it couldn't get any better than that until my third favorite, Aravinda Sameta Veera Raghava.
There we go. There we go.
Aravinda Sameta Veera Raghava is such peak Trivikram, peak Taman, and peak NTR.
Oh
It's
my, I don't even know where to start with that movie.
if we do up if we start talking about Aravinda Sameta Veera Raghava, we could talk about
We could
it
do a whole episode
a
on that.
whole podcast on it, bro.
Yeah.
That's how perfect that movie is. Because usually, this is the first time that Trivikram stepped out of his comfort zone. He usually does family films, Attarinki Daredi, Jalsa, and especially after coming off of a disaster like Agnyatavasi, coming with Junior NTR in a factionist film, I was like, this is not looking good. Genuinely, I was worried. And but the trailers and all looked good. The songs were good, and I thought in the trailers, a పెద్ద fight ఉంటుంది కదా, intro fight. ఆఫ్ ఎన్టీఆర్ రైట్. మామూలుగా ఫ్యాక్షన్ సినిమాలో అంటే ఆ ఫైట్ లాస్ట్ లో ఉంటుంది. We can see it in so many films like Adi, Samarasimha Reddy, Channakeswar Reddy. In all these movies, the big factionist fight is at the end. Kanikada Trivikram, being genius writer he is, put that at the beginning of the movie. And that one shot where NTR ki Yanakala katti diguddi and he's bent over on like the side view mirror and he sees his Baba and his Nana dead, and that switch from Raghava to Veera Raghava Reddy. We see that. ఒక కంట్లో బాధ కోపం అన్ని we can see that. And I'm like, this this and that entire fight sequence, దాని తర్వాత all the dialogues, all the scenes, the torchbearer scene, the school fight, the last slow వీల్నెట్ట మారుస్తాము, everything in that movie is just peak. There's nothing else I can say
I
about it.
I remember I saw a clip somewhere, and they were like, I forget who it was, but they were saying నేను థియేటర్కి వెళ్ళి చూసాను రా, ఇలా కొంచెం లేట్ అయింది మూవీకి, లోపలికి వెళ్ళాను, ఎండింగ్ మూవీ వస్తుందా అని ఆ ఫైట్ వస్తుంది, నేను ఎండింగ్కి వచ్చానా,
Actually, yeah.
షోకి వచ్చానా, ఏమో అని అనుకున్నాడు అంత.
నేను ఆ సినిమా తప్పు చేశాను. ఆ టైంకి టికెట్లు దొరకలేదో లేకపోతే దిస్ వాజ్ బిఫోర్ ఒహాయోలో ఇప్పుడైతే తెలుగు వాళ్ళు బాగా ఎక్కువైపోయి ఒహాయోలో తెలుగు సినిమా అంటే ఒక మినిమం ఒక వారం 2 వారాలు నడుస్తుంది. ఆ టైంలో జస్ట్ 1-2 డేసే
అంతే
ఉండేవి బ్యాక్ దెన్. బాహుబలి అంటే పెద్ద సినిమా అయితే ఒక 2-3 వీక్స్ నడిచింది. బట్
అంతే
అట్ దట్ టైమ్ ఇట్ వాజ్ స్టిల్ the demand for Telugu movies was still small. సో ఆ సినిమా తప్పు చేశాను, టికెట్లు దొరకలేదు నాకు, వెళ్ళలేదు. చాన్నాళ్ళ తర్వాత యూట్యూబ్ లోనే ఎక్కడ ఫుల్ మూవీ అప్లోడ్ చేస్తాను, చూద్దాం అని అమ్మ నాన్న అందరితో కూర్చుని పెట్టాను. నేనేమో ఇదేంటిది ఎంటిఫైట్ ముందు వస్తుంది యూట్యూబ్ చూడ అంటే కాదు, అదే అదే సినిమా,
అంతే
అదే సినిమా, దట్ ఈస్ త్రివిక్రమ్. మనకు తెలిసిన జాన్రాని అసలు కంప్లీట్ హీ షిఫ్టెడ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్.
ఆ మూవీ ఆ ఎంట్రీ సీన్లోనే మనకు గూస్ బంప్స్ వచ్చేస్తాయి.
ఐ స్వేర్
అంటే ఆ బీజిఎం అలాంటిది.
తమన్ డ్యూటీ ఎక్కుతాడు
అంతే అంతే ఇది ఆ ఎంట్రీ సీన్. అక్కడి నుంచి చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంటాం. బీజిఎం అసలు ఎరగదీసాడు తమ్మన్, భలే ఉందని. ఎన్టీఆర్, ఆ నాగబాబు నవ్వు, అది పర్ఫెక్ట్ కదా మొత్తం. తర్వాత ఫైట్ సీన్, ఏం జరుగుతుందిరా బాబు, ఫైట్ సీన్ ఏంది ఈ టైం, ఫైట్ సీన్ ఎరగదీస్తాడు ఎన్టీఆర్. తర్వాత క్యారెక్టర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చూస్తే ఒక స్త్రీ ఎన్టీఆర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్కి పూజా హెగ్డే అసలు పర్ఫెక్ట్ యాక్టింగ్ అసలు నిజంగా.
If people who question Pooja Hegde's acting skills, just watch Aravinda Sameta Veer Raghava and
అసలు ఆ మూవీలో, ఎందుకంటే ఆ మూవీయే కాదు, ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు అలా వైకుంఠపురంలో చూసినా బంటు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా పూజా హెగ్డే క్యారెక్టరే. ఎందుకంటే బంటు అక్కడ కూర్చొని మీరు కూడా అనబాకండి మేడం, అది నా జాతకం ఎలా అని అనబాకండి, ఫీల్ అవుతాను అని అంతే. లేదు బంటు, నువ్వు కష్టపడితే ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్ళగలవు, వచ్చిద్ది, అది టైం పట్టిద్ది, అలా చెప్పిద్ది అనమాట. కానీ సేమ్ పూజా హెగ్డే ఈ అరవింద సమేత వీర రాఘవలో వెళ్ళి
ముందు బామ చెప్పుద్ది, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ
అంతే. అవును
బామ చెప్పుద్ది,
నిజమే,
మీ తాత కత్తి పట్టినాడంటే అవసరం,
అంతే,
మీ నాయన కత్తి ఎత్తినాడంటే అది వారసత్వం,
అంతే.
నువ్వు 10 దినాల నాడు కత్తి దూసినావంటే అది నీ లక్షణం. అది నీ కొడుకులకి వస్తే ఆ టైంకి అవలక్షణం అవుద్దేమో, చూసుకోరా రాఘవ అని అనుద్ది, చూసుకోరా వీరా అని అనుద్ది. దాని తర్వాత సేమ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ మిర్రర్ క్యారెక్టర్ లాగా we get Pooja Hegde.
అవునంతే.
And the only reason NTR stays there is because నా ప్రాబ్లము అండ్ ఆ అమ్మాయి చదివే చదువు రెండు ఒకటే. అండ్ తను క్యాజువల్గా ఏదైనా మాట్లాడినా నాకు అది సొల్యూషన్లా
కనిపిస్తుంది.
That's why he stays there, and that's why we get Aravinda Sameta Veera Raghava, which literally means Veera Raghava with Aravinda Sameta, or like Aravinda
అవును
Sameta with Veera Raghava, who's
అవును
helping him.
ఆ,
The movie is named off after Pooja Hegde's character.
అవును అంతే టైటిల్లోనే తెలిసిపోతుంది.
Hmm.
అండ్ అలాంటి క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్ హీరోయిన్కి ఇస్తాం అనేది గ్రేట్.
Yeah,
ఎందుకంటే ఆ, తెలుగు ఫిల్మ్స్లో అసలు
it's
ఆ
rare seeing
క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్
that.
మిస్సింగ్ ఈ మధ్య.
Yeah.
హీరోయిన్స్ క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్ అనేది చాలా మిస్సింగ్.
Hmm.
సో దట్
వస్తారు,
మూవీ ఈజ్ ఎ
డాన్స్
టెస్టమెంట్.
చేస్తారు, వెళ్తారు అంతే.
అంతే,
సో బట్
అదే
there are few
క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్
movies
ఉండాలి.
that don't do that. Yeah.
క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్ ఉండాలి, అది కొంచెం మిస్సింగ్. అది
Hmm.
కొంచెం మిస్సింగ్. బట్ ఆ మూవీ అసలు అసలు పీక్.
It's peak.
పీక్ ఎన్నిసార్లు చూసినా ఆ
Mm.
టెక్నికల్గా మాత్రం సో గుడ్.
Yeah, but
సో గుడ్.
Aravinda Sameta is just love that movie. And
ఒక మొత్తం 40 minutes మాట్లాడచ్చు.
honestly,
గంటే
movie మీద
మాట్లాడచ్చు
separate
అసలు.
podcast
అంతే,
చేద్దాం next
అదొక
time.
సెపరేట్ ఫ్యాన్ బేస్ ఉంది.
Exactly. But no, but yeah, those are my top three. And again, I missed a lot, like Yamadanga, others, um, Rocky, ఇలాంటి చాలా మిస్ అయ్యాను. But for right now, those are my top three. But yeah, అది పరిస్థితి ఇప్పుడు. What else do you think? Like, what other things could we talk about though? Like, we're shifting back to more about the podcast, but like, this is just our first episode, and we mainly did this just so you guys, the people who are seeing, can get to know a little bit about us, um, what our interests are and whatnot. But just just why don't you just give me a couple ideas about what's something we could do in the future?
I mean, definitely just filmographies in general.
Hmm.
Directors, actors. Yeah. Just dive
Yeah.
into that. But yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what we should do. Um, I definitely do want to do like individual actor filmographies because that'll take up a lot of time, and then especially each actor has their like separate filmography that's iconic in its own way. Um, Hello?
You kicked me out, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. But yeah, no, I was just saying that each actor has their own iconic filmography that's different, and we can talk about that for sure. Um, but yeah, you want to talk about anything else on our first podcast episode?
I think that's good. I think that's
Yeah?
good. That was
Uh,
a it was a great time.
hmm Definitely looking forward to doing this again in the future, and I'm gonna have a great time doing this. All
Love
right,
to see it. Love to see it.
we gotta do it, bro.
Yep. It'll happen.
Hmm All right. I think we'll end it at there today. We'll come back next week with another episode, new topic, and we'll just see how it goes from there on.
Wrap it up.
All right. See you, man.